The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
Welcome to Opie's Connection, connecting to the unknown. Laurie, it's so great to be here with you again. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm so excited to be here with you, Opie. Thank you for including me in this wonderful process.
It's been a bit of a journey just seeing kind of the pieces that we've kind of worked through, overcome, and built to this next level of my journey, hey?
Yeah, it's been really exciting being part of this and just learning so much about your journey, which has been such an incredible and empowering road that you've traveled.
Oh, thank you so much. I always really want people to know that with my work, being a psychic medium, there is no difference in who I am versus somebody else. Sometimes people have a different expectation that we have this kind of enhanced awareness, but really we're just kind of a clear channel to connect to information.
Wow, that's incredible. So I have to admit, I am dying to know, how do you connect to spirit?
You know, it's very interesting because the main thing that I teach when I support and mentor my students is that we are all unique. We all have intuitive abilities. We all have heightened senses and awareness and have an empathic ability within us. But we all kind of use it in different capacities in our journey of connection. So the biggest thing that is a main stable foundation point for any psychic medium is that we use what we call clairs. So you know how you have senses where you touch things, you can smell the burning in the kitchen, or you can feel the heat of a fire, and that's just our human senses. Whereas psychic mediums, we use what we call our clairs.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so we have these abilities, but they're senses within our intuition, within our aura, within your aura. So there's 4 major clairs that we utilize to collect information. We have our claircognizance, which is the clear knowing. We have our clairvoyance, which is usually dominated through our third eye, a chakra point in our head. And the clairvoyance is the clear seeing. We also have clairaudience, which is the clear hearing. And we have the clairsentience, which is the clear sensing. To utilizing these 4 major key points, you have 2 minor clairs that are clear tasting and clear smelling. So these are usually correlating or supporting a major clair.
That's really interesting. So it's very similar to the human senses, except not everybody experiences them.
Well, and it's interesting because I always say to everybody who's comes to me that says, I wish I could do what you do. And I always joke because you can. Everybody utilizes these senses on a day-to-day format. So there's no issues with somebody developing this, enhancing it, learning more about it.
So can anybody be psychic?
Yes, anybody.
Okay.
I bet you 95% of the people that I engage with are way more intuitive, psychic than they recognize. So I always remind people, it's like if I all of a sudden decide to take up music and I pick up a guitar. Some people are very naturally in tuned, connected, and can learn really fast pace. Some people have to dedicate time, energy, and awareness to different techniques to expand it to really connect to their capabilities with that instrument. Psychic mediumship is no different.
Wow, okay. So in regard to channeling and all the different clairs, which one do you identify with?
Well, a lot of psychic mediums, and one of the teachers that I used in England let me know that a lot of psychic mediums, probably about 75 to 80% of them, open up as clairvoyant, which is clear seeing. So they get visions and they have information accessible through that format. And there's another smaller percentage that are clairsentient, which is the sensing of things, understanding through emotions. And I'm part of a new wave that is claircognizant. So it's the clear knowing. It's in and out. It's a heck yeah or a heck no, and there is no in between. A lot of psychic mediums have a processing of receiving and digesting and then outputting the information, where for me it just kind of comes in and goes out. So it's a little different. It was a little harder for me to connect to people to learn from, since they didn't have a dominant claircognizant ability.
So this is sort of a new wave type of connection to spirit.
Yes, there's a lot of people that actually really resonate with that. And the hard part with claircognizance is there's no really strong way to know that you're claircognizant unless somebody kind of brings it to your attention, because it's just a part of you. It's like an arm. It's part of who you are. You don't really know any different until you really start drawing attention to the importance of it.
Would you say it's kind of like that inner knowing, that gut feeling?
Yes. So it's very interesting too, because people have a lot of misconceptions and expectations of what these sensory systems would be like, what they would be like to experience. Whereas I always remind people we actually use them all the time, every single day. So, Laurie, do you ever get that sense of your son and wondering, gosh, I don't think he's feeling that well, without really noticing any symptoms, and then he gets sick that evening or the next day?
That happens all the time. Right? And I think I knew it.
Yes, and all of a sudden you're recognizing afterwards, oh, I should have paid attention, or I should have rested him a little bit more. Or driving, do you have a set pattern that you take every day, and all of a sudden out of the blue, you're reminded, oh, maybe I should take this way today. I'm going to take a right instead of going straight. Does that ever happen to you?
Yes. Is that part of psychic abilities?
Yes, that's claircognizance.
Oh, wow.
That's a clear knowing. And have you ever picked up perhaps poultry or something like that and just had a sense of, I don't think this is good, and checking the expiration date and following up for the facts after?
Yes.
That's clairsentience.
Oh, wow.
And do you ever go to pick out an outfit and are visualizing it in your mind prior to and trying to find those items to connect to that vision?
Yes, 100%.
That's clairvoyance.
Wow.
So it's interesting because clairvoyance, everybody expects that we see a person there. We can define the features. We can see all the details about it. But when psychic mediums experience it, predominantly, a lot of them, it's just a subtle flash of a visual.
So it kind of comes through like a memory in their head, but they're not necessarily seeing a person beside you.
Yes.
Okay.
Or a daydream.
Oh,
or
okay.
remembering pieces of a dream, you know, that quick flash where you all of a sudden really have to heighten your awareness and sensing to connect to the vision of it.
So you really are just like a channel, and the information comes through. And you mentioned the claircognizance, so information comes through and then goes out.
Yes.
So do you remember after?
I don't, which is, I have to say, very awkward, because everybody comes and approaches and says hi, and it takes probably a good 5 minutes for me to adjust and recognize and say, oh, how are you?
Okay.
And if I held on to all the information that I connect to through my days, I think my brain would explode. So it's a working hazard to hold on to things.
When people come back to you at a later time and ask you about some things in the session, it's not really something that you can remember.
That's right. That's right. So the
Interesting.
important thing is to kind of recognize how we receive information and how often we utilize it during the day. Okay. So I'm excited to show you some things I can support you empowering yourself and honing in and building that awareness within yourself after.
I'm really excited.
Thank you so much. You'll have to stay tuned, everybody, so I can share some exercises with you and experiences of how to connect to those abilities within.
So it's interesting, my throat's being taken off and I keep hearing mama, mama, mama. So mama, you need to stand up there. Now, we connected previously on my last read, right? We did, okay. And you have had quite the overhaul and change in everything lately, hey? There's the microphone for you.
Thank you.
I keep being told you got your son back.
Yeah.
So you can stand up too, mister. So it's interesting because you didn't believe in mediumship before, did you? And now it was kind of like, oh my God, they see it all. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, good, good. Did we give up the vaping though? Because I feel like, is that gone?
No. But
Okay.
I did leave it at home.
Hold
Good
on,
thinking about it.
folks. Okay,
Just step
listen.
in the right direction.
I keep getting the putting out again, okay? So just let's keep it out of the lungs, okay? And Mama, have you been able to decompress and breathe as of late?
I have.
Yeah, like you can actually sleep now. Yeah, so your son is just radiating my energy with joy and excitement and pride for you because this was a gift. You could see he heard, and you could see you could release. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
He's so proud of you. You've been making conscious choices, and you've been changing things, but guess what? Now it's time to focus on you. So we have to take care of ourselves now, he says. We've been alleviated of this heaviness, of this challenge and burden that we experienced. It's still there. We're still processing. But he wants you guys to come together and do it. You guys, are you talking to him like way more now?
Him? Me, I talk to him.
All the time, right? But are you
day.
talking to him more?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, busted. That's amazing. He's laughing because he's like, listen, once in a while you threw it out like, I don't know if you're hearing this, but now you know he's hearing it, and you guys are like he's lit all the time talking to y'all. I don't know why I am using that word that is not part of my chuckle vocabulary. Tell me that's a thing, because I don't know what that means.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so he's joyous. He is really excited to see the future. There's a lot of possibilities right now. Did you even apply on a school or something recently? Or are you thinking about it and playing with it and researching it?
I'm thinking about going to school. Like, I'm looking at different opportunities right now.
Listen, this is a heck yeah. Like Barry, do not slow down, do not yield. He is showing me take it up a notch. Stop dragging your heels. He is so excited about this, okay? Is there something at all with health that you are exploring as well?
Not that I can think about.
Okay, that's okay. If whatever you're aligning to might connect to some kind of realm connected to that, I'm not sure. But I get a lot of black and white with the facts around whatever you're connecting to, so it feels very like strong lead, almost justice. Does that make sense as well? Like there's a very clear line of this is good and this is bad.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so
Like
what do you, because let me tell you how it is.
Yeah. So like, only thing I can kind of connect with that is like the right and wrong kind of thing is I work with troubled youth.
Good.
So like that's what I wanted to like do. Originally I wanted to do something so I could help kids go through like that have been through the same experiences or like feel the same as I have. And that's currently what I'm doing. Is I'm
Good.
working with a young kid that is very much like me when I was younger.
And you're
So it
leading
feels like
him
I'm
to the
giving
right.
back at that point. So yeah,
That's fantastic. And so that's where I get the justice in the sense of you're taking them out of the darkness and you're showing them the light. And you're leading them away from the destitute that they would have explored normally and now are going to a different. So this is something that he is just ecstatic about, so I don't want you to stop. Okay, lead with your passion, but put down the stuff that's affecting your lungs. I just keep getting warning flag after warning flag. Like, are you getting a lot of wheezing when you wake up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I can't breathe.
Yeah. So, I mean, if that's not enough warning for you, right?
Yeah.
Being an asthmatic and getting pneumonia frequently, I mean, oxygen is precious, and when you don't have it, you feel it, okay? So there is an urgency here, and before he kind of woke you up, and now he's just slapping you across the face with it, okay? He is not holding bars. He would be in your face right now, okay? And Mama, he just wants you outside moving more. He wants you feeling the energy of oxygen, the sun, getting that joyous connection outdoors because he really connects to you outside. Does that make sense as well?
Yes.
Okay. And are you getting a lot more birds and you're not happy about it? Is there like, are you scared of birds? Why am I getting like
Oh, I don't, yeah. I
Oh,
don't
okay. Because he's
and
laughing.
they constantly are like, when I come off the door, they're like flying.
And you're like ducking, right? But there's like a row of them everywhere you go. And you're like, why are you following me? And he's like, I'm here. So he loves you laughing. So don't stop laughing, okay? But I have to tell you, I am so proud of you both. I am so excited for you both. And he was kind of with me for the last couple days, like knocking on me. I was like, listen, it's not time yet. I know you're excited, but you have to chill out, right? Like, I can't call them. I don't know. So I just wanted to thank you for receiving that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Well, it's great to see you again. Laurie, we are going to be exploring some little exercises to support individuals, but did you have any more questions at all about information connected to clairs or sensing?
Yeah, I've been thinking a little bit about this, and one thing I was wondering was in regard to receiving information, isn't it overwhelming to just be receiving information all the time?
Everybody kind of has this expectation that we receive it constantly. And we have something called a spiritual team on the other side. This is our loved ones, our spirit guides, power animals, angels, different elements like that, which are part of supporting me in my journey and supporting me in connecting to others. Part of this process is kind of teaching them when I'm on and when I'm off. So when people come and connect to me, I really have a routine of explaining things, going through a process, which is also letting their spiritual team know that my spiritual team is getting ready to work. But normally when I'm off, I am off. I am not connecting, I'm not receiving, and with that, we have to be a clear channel. So a lot of times I will meditate for 2 to 3 hours before I start my workday. That clears out my energy, clears out any kind of stress, anxiety within my mental state, but also my physical realm, so I can be a clear channel to connect to people seeing me.
Wow, that takes a lot of energy and time.
Yes.
Just for one session with somebody.
It does. A lot of people don't see the prep that goes into it. And if I'm not a clear channel, I'm not serving my community at the best that I can.
So you mentioned your own team, and then you mentioned other people's team. So do we all have a team?
Yes, we all have a lot of people on the other side, which is the beautiful thing to explore and to just start engaging in information around that.
Interesting. Okay, so who's your team?
So I have a very diverse team that works with a lot of different components, but that's kind of something that I can't wait to explore a little bit more for you a little bit later on.
Okay, I can't wait.
Yes. And it's interesting, Laurie, because a lot of people have communication in regards to my abilities and call them gifts. This is something that I don't really resonate with, because gifts kind of elevates you on a different path, on a different level, whereas I really see myself exactly as everybody else is. I'm no different. I just have an ability and am able to tune into it a little bit more.
So when people talk about your gifts, that's not something that resonates with you. It really is an ability.
Yes.
And something that you've really worked to improve and increase.
Yes, and the dedication that I have to really hone in on supporting people through it. So
Wow, you are very unique in your process.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. All right, so listen, I want to do a little exercise with you, and I want you at home to try this out as well. So just stand with your feet kind of hip width apart.
Okay.
You can sit, you can relax, and I just want you just to take a breath.
Okay.
Okay, just take a breath and relax and close your eyes. And I want you in your mind's eye to visualize an apple. And I want your hand actually to reach out and grab that apple and hold on to it where you see it in front of you. Now open your eye. Now, where is that located for you, Laurie? It looks like it's right here. Does that connect?
Yes, yes.
So that's usually where our third eye is. So our third eye is what we experience clairvoyance with. A lot of people are very clairvoyant and just aren't as much aware as how clairvoyant they are. So that's a great way to know where your third eye is. Now, a lot of people will have a third eye actually on either side of that area. So you can actually have a third eye on your right eyebrow or your left eyebrow. It doesn't have to be in the middle where a lot of people assume it is. There's no difference in it. It's just the allocation of energy.
Wow.
Pretty neat,
That is
hey?
incredible, yeah.
And it's kind of neat too if you're falling asleep and you want to kind of engage or explore or start opening up that energy point, to visualize it blinking. And feel as though there is an eye there and blinking. It's kind of a cool sensation, right?
Wow, so everybody has a third eye.
Yes, it's really neat. Everybody's got chakra points, which are energy points in their system. And these are connected to our abilities, and that is one that is pretty predominant in seeing psychic and mediumship.
Wow, thank you for sharing all of that.
Yes! Now, the coolest thing is that we are energy centers. We already know information that our brain doesn't like to acknowledge. So there's a conscious part of our brain and subconscious part of our brain. So a lot of information that we're always struggling with, that we're always uncertain about, our brain actually already knows the answer. And I want to show you a great exercise to do this. This is an exercise actually I use in taking my vitamins or taking additional supplements at all, because I have a hard time knowing if I'm overdoing it or underdoing it. So this is actually something I use for vitamins.
Okay. I can't wait to try this exercise.
All right, Laurie, so I want you to stand hip width apart.
Okay.
And put your arms just gently beside you. And I just want you to relax your knees, okay?
Okay.
So with this, you're going to be prepared that your body is going to either sway forward or sway backwards, okay? And the big thing is not to get stuck in what other people's point of yes and no is. I want you to explore what the yes is for you and the no is for you.
Okay, so I'm gonna figure out what my body's yes and no are.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So just close your eyes and just stand straight there and slightly bend your knees and just relax, okay? Now, I want you to ask yourself, do I have long hair?
Okay. Do I have long hair?
Oh, you went right right
backwards.
back there. Okay, so let's try this.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have 6 noses?
Okay, do I have 6? I can't even finish the question. So what does that mean? I was
So
falling
that's
forward.
a no, and the back is a yes. So let's
Okay.
try it again,
Okay.
okay? So just be open to receive with no expectation, okay? So is your name Laurie Diamond?
Okay, is my name Laurie Diamond? That's so interesting. My body just starts to sway backwards.
You don't even finish it, right? Because it already knows what the question is.
Okay.
And it already knows. So I want you to do this again, and I'm going to put items in your hand, and just put
Okay.
your feet just hip width apart there. There you go, okay? So close your eyes and put your hands in forward, just so that you can hold and
Okay.
receive what I'm going to give you,
Eyes
okay?
closed?
Eyes closed, and just take a breath, okay? Okay, is this something that is good in my body?
Okay, so I went yes on
Yeah.
that one. Oh, it's an apple.
Apparently we need some fiber.
Yeah. My body loves apples. Okay.
All right, so let's try this one. Can I consume this?
Oh, okay, I went forward.
Ah, interesting. Open it up.
So I actually have a really hard time with peppers, and they cause inflammation in my body.
There you go. Isn't that interesting?
Wow. That's incredible.
That's really neat,
How did my
eh?
body know that?
Well,
Oh,
it
okay.
already knows, right?
Wow.
So close again. We're going to try
Okay.
some more items here. Okay, this one's a little bit heavier.
Okay.
Is this something that is positive for me?
Okay, I got a yes on that one.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Smith's tonight.
So can you tell us about that?
I know what this is. Yeah, this is a great throat chakra stone. And this stone helps to speak, helps with positive communication, heartfelt communication.
There you go,
And
right?
represents the throat. I love that.
So notice the questions I'm asking too. So the next one, let's try again. Okay. Can you consume this?
Going back on that
Ah!
I got a yes on the kyanite.
Are you able to eat kyanite?
I would never eat kyanite personally.
That would be a bad idea. So that's interesting that it was a yes on that one. And let's do one more.
Okay.
Is this something that's positive for my body?
Ooh. Let me get my balance here. Okay, I'm getting a no on this. What is this?
This is a special apple tea that might have nuts in it that don't work with your system.
Interesting. No, I can't have that. That's so interesting.
Isn't that neat though, how you can play with that and kind of explore that on your own? Did you enjoy that?
I loved that. And now I know my yes and no.
Yes, and that's the thing. It's individual to you. Don't get lost in expectations of others and explore what you're meant to have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I can't wait to hear how those exercises worked for you.
If you'd like to share your feedback on the program you just watched, contact us today.